My people, my people, my people, my people, my people. The most valiant, the strongest, the ruggedest, the most resilient people in the entire world. The citizens of people and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, residents, and even when you visit us, some of our strength, some of our ruggedness, some of our resilience, some of our perseverance rubs off on you. Now, the question we have to ask here in this video are as follows. Why did Ralph Gonsalves try to evacuate everyone out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines as soon as the first eruption of the La Soufrière? We didn't know if it's going to continue or not, but he was, even before things get desperate, he wanted to evacuate everyone as much as possible. Is it because he does not have the resources, or he did not have the resources to manage the emergency shelter? Is it because his government is bankrupt and he does not have any resources to take care of the financial obligations as it relates to public and civil servant salary? Those are the kind of some of the questions we're going to ask here. We have to ask a question. Did Carcel Uriah Smith, the principal of the Calico Primary Anglican School, did she really steal stuff from the shelter? And what kind of budget does NEMO have to run on? What is the budget that NEMO have to run all of these emergency-based situations that we are encountering on? What is NEMO budget? Why are people who are going to NEMO for assistance are given a pack of romaine, a couple packs of romaine, a couple of regular bottle of water, and nothing of consequences that could take care of their family in a time of disaster? Why is this so? Is St. Vincent the Grenadines government cash crop? Are they able to pay teachers? Let us get in to the meat of this matter. Let us start talking St. Vincent the Grenadines business now. People, this is St. Vincent the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo. I'm asking you if you're here with me, if you're going to hang out with me for a little minute while we answer these questions. Share this video. Let me know where you're watching me from. And not only that, let me know when you share the video. Let me know where you're watching me from, and let me know when you share the video. I see my good friend Monica Spikeman Brooker. I am doing well, Monica. Esther James Carmichael, I hope you're staying hang on with me. Betty Clark is watching. Vera Keyser is watching. Monica Spikeman Brooker have shared. All right, people, let us share this video. Let us share this video. Let us get an audience that is worthy of my attention, an audience that is worthy of the discussion that I'm about to have here. Let me know where you're watching from, and let me know when you share the video so I can big you up. I want to shout out Betty Clark, my faithful sister from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Let me know where you're watching from, people. I see people showing up, but they're not saying where they're watching from. Faith Carter is from SVG. How is SVG going, Faith? Bring us up to date on the situation in our mother country, the homeland, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Let me know where you're watching from. We have Faith Carter who have declared she's watching from. Monica Spikeman Brooker is in the United Kingdom. She's watching from the United Kingdom. Monica, you have shared already. Esther James Carmichael, my dear and personal friend, is watching from the United Kingdom. Esther, we need people like you in St. Vincent and Monica to provide faithful, loyal service to our country. Right? We have a lot of things to discuss. Please share this video. Share it on your page. Share it on a friend page. Share it in a group. Share it in a room. Tag someone when you share it also. Let us discuss these important questions. We have a lot of important questions that we must discuss here today. Only one person thinks it's fit to share the video. Only Spikeman. Only Monica Spikeman, broker from the UK, is sharing the video. Come on, people, let's share this video. Let's share this video. You have already declared who you are. Let us share this video. Let us talk business, because guess what? Our country is in distress. And it is revealed that the United States government have already earmarked $100 million to be sent to St. Vincent, right? For aid. Right? So we need to share this video. Let us discuss it. Let us see. Let us be responsible and keep the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines accountable. People, the only reason Ralph Gonsalves was trying to ship out everybody when the forced eruption happened is because the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is cash strapped. During the eruption, he secretly released to one of the minor papers that public and civil servant. Yeah, Monica, tell them share it. Nobody's sharing. Public and civil servant, right, may not be paid in the common future, right? So it means that the Ralph Gonsalves government is cash strapped, right? People share this video, man. Let me know when you share it. Let me know when you share it. I have important information for our people. I have important information for our people. Tag someone in it when you share. Even Monica Spikeman broke is saying, come on people, let's share this video. Let's share this video, man. We have 17 people online now. If 17 people share this, we'll get enough people to start a viable discussion. Come on, people. But I'm going to start anyway. I can't force you. Alright? I can't force you to share. I see Vera Kiza share. I see Betty Clark share. I see Alfonso, who I cussed out the other day, share. Come on, people, share the video. Let us share this video. Let us have a good discussion. 18 people online. One person share. This is not good enough. I'll have to stop dedicating my time to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines because you all are ungrateful. Or they think I don't have anything good to say. But yet you're coming to listen to me. You don't think what I should say should be heard by others? Huh? What happened? Anyway, let me go on with the discussion. The only reason why Ralph Gonsalves was trying to evacuate as much people from the island as possible, and he was hoping that a lot of those government employees in the red and orange zone would have left the country, so he did not have to live up to his obligation to pay salaries. He released a press release in one of the minor paper that the government may not be able to pay the salaries of public and civil servants in the coming. Betty Clark, you share. Thank you, my sweetheart. In the coming months. So therefore, they are cash strapped. We have to ask ourselves, what type of budget NEMO was allocated to deal with COVID-19, Lucifer eruption? What kind of budget? All right, Michelle, I take my time. What kind of, share the video, Michelle. What kind of budget was allocated to NEMO to deal with the impending danger that our people are confronted with? We have had such reports where people went to NEMO, regular, honest, hard-working citizens who went to NEMO to receive aid on behalf of people who couldn't go to for themselves. They were given a couple packs of romaine noodles, water, and a lot of unnutritional products. for these people to deal with. How is that possible? How in a situation at this day, how is it possible that in a devastating situation that we are now confronted with, right? The government is unable to provide people who are displaced, people who are in need, or people who are affected directly from the volcano with basic commodities. Barbie in the house, Michelle Scrub, nice. With basic commodities, right? To ensure that they make it through this thing as reasonable. You understand? Ensure that they don't go hungry. Ensure that they don't become malnourished. How is it possible? So we see what he did. He released to the minor papers that the government may not be able to pay. They may not be able to pay the salaries of public and civil servants in the future. And I didn't see any of the unions come out and speak about this, because what is going to happen? Their membership will be directly affected. And when their membership is directly affected and is not paid, what happens? Union dues will not be paid. You understand? If the man know he can't run country because he proved it over 20 years, he can't run country, why? Why is he still rigging and stealing election to maintain a job that he is incapable of doing? Don't worry, I'm getting to Miss Carcel Smith in a while, the teacher at the Calico Anglican School. But you have to get the important things out first, because that is just minor. And I understand how that happens. I can explain how that happens. You understand? That have happened. But I'll get to it when I get to it. Right? So, this is the thing. Now, what we have learned is that the United States government had earmarked, listen to me carefully, has earmarked, and I get this information from a video clip that Tonya Christopher sent to me, right? Somebody have done the research and they came up with, they have, and they get the information. The United States government have already earmarked $100 million for volcano relief in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That is $100 million that is earmarked to be spent on the restoration of people to the place where they were before the volcano erupted. So all those people with farm crops that are destroyed, they are supposed to be getting money to compensate for their farm crops, right? All those cleanup activities will be financed by this $100 million. People who have property damage where the roof have collapsed, they will be able to get something from this $1 million to put them back in a place where they were before the volcano erupted. Who is going to supervise the proper disbursement of funds to ensure that St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Vincentians are back to where they were before the volcano hit? And guess what? That is just from the United States government, right? There are other governments across the world, the UK and France and these other countries are going to give us money to help us get back to a state, because that is one of the benefits of being a part of the United Nations, where the United Nations Secretary General will, on behalf of St. Vincent, who is in a disaster, solicit from countries on behalf of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right? But the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines have to now put in the request, but they don't know that, they don't know that. The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines have to now put in a request to the Secretary General to assist them by using his authority as Secretary General to tap in to the United Kingdom, to France, to Germany, to all of the governments who have the resources, even the Arab countries, you understand, to send us resources. Because we are in dire state, but they don't know that. They're in government long time and they don't know that is the procedure you go through. You understand? Once Mind Baba has shared, thank you, Mind. You and Monica Brooker and Betty and what's her name? Natasha are faithful soldiers. Good morning, Mind Baba. Faithful soldier. I don't even have to tell you to share. Once you come and you see me online, you're going to ensure that someone else hear the video. Yes, they've been in power for 20 years. And they don't even understand that this is the protocol that you must follow. The first thing you do is you call the Secretary General of the United Nations and let them know that your country is going through a disaster. Right? And you would like for him in his capacity as the Secretary General of the United Nations to not only inform the body, but to ask the body to be generous and to provide help for our country. If that was done when the volcano erupted first, right? All like now, France and Italy and Germany and all of those other countries, ships would have been coming into our harbor full with foodstuff and other things that would be needed. But they don't know what they're doing. Ralph Gonsalves don't know what he's doing. You understand? Because let me tell you something. Once the Secretary General make a plea to the member state, even in Africa, the African countries would have been sending stuff, because the Secretary General would have make a plea to the general membership and ask them to help us. But they don't know that. They don't know that. It's because the embassy in Barbados, who have been directly affected by the volcano, make a plea, right, to the Home Office. That is why we are getting the $100 million. It is not nothing that Ralph Gonsalves or his government did. It was not anything that Ralph Gonsalves and his government did. It is because the embassy in Barbados made a request, because we were directly affected by to the Home Office. They made a request on our behalf to Home Office. That is why we are getting this money. You understand? I come into the comments in a while. I know I like comments, but we get the important things out first. The thing that would affect the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You understand? And that is just the fact. How are these money going to be managed? Sly Little, nice. Love you. Nice for sharing. Thanks for sharing. You are beautiful. You are my soldiers. How are these monies going to be managed? Over $100 million US. When Ralph Gonsalves see that, his eyes are going to open and dollar sign is going to flick on it. Because all he's going to be able to see is his Swiss bank account, his RGs in California, and the oppression of the peoples to keep them quiet. You understand? So let us keep an eye. And you know what? You're not hearing the opposition in time of needs. Where is Leacock? Where is Friday? We're not hearing all they do. They're trying to raise funds. While the people, they're not bringing any comfort to the people. Why would you want to gather money and you can't come and comfort the people in a time when they need comforting from the people who are elected to do such in time of disaster? Where is Leacock? Where is Friday? Where is the other members of the NDP, the opposition? Where is them to hold Nemo accountable? Where is them to tell us how much money Nemo is operating on for volcano relief? Where is them to tell us how much money NEMA is operating on for COVID-19 relief? Where is them? Where are they? When the people needed to know what are the evacuation procedure, where is the opposition? Since don't have no opposition. They don't have no opposition. Since Arnhem Eustace left, there is no opposition in the Grenadines. These guys are contented with their salaries. And I don't think their salaries is big enough for them to run about and do things. Whatever $5,000 they're getting every month, right? Or $6,000 they're getting every month is just enough. It's just enough for them to hold the office, not to do anything. It's just enough for them to go to Parliament once a month, not to do anything. Where is Leacock? Where is Cummins? Where is Dr. Friday? Even if Dr. Friday take a stand on how he want to operate, it does not mean that people like Leacock and others who see a need cannot go outside of that protocol. They can. They have an obligation to the community, not to their constituency only, but the entire Vincentian community. They were elected by their constituency to oversee the affairs of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, not to oversee the affairs in their constituency, to oversee the affairs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They are obligated to every Vincentian, not to those in their constituency. They can't get the concept. They can't get the concept. They can't get the concept. You understand? Your constituency is only responsible for giving you the job, right? To look out for their interests. But your sole responsibility is to ensure proper management and accountability of the resources and services in the Grenadines. Leacock, even though Friday not understand that concept, you should understand that concept. Because you have been around this thing for far too long. You are too intelligent a man, right? Not to understand this concept and put forward this concept to the party. Now, let us go on to the shelter at Calicut. One Winfield Tanis Abbott, we'll call him Winfield for this purpose here, was given the responsibility to manage the shelter that is being housed at the Calicut Anglican School. I know Mr. Winfield quite well. We are not friends. We are acquaintances, right? I know him quite well. I know him as a young man, right? He's probably a year or two older than I am, but we're somewhere in the same age group. When I played basketball in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right? I was a very good basketball player. I was one of the players who was capable of changing a game in basketball. Anytime we Clippers had to play against the Calicut United basketball team, Winfield, no other time, you know. Anytime we had to play against Calicut basketball team, Winfield will reach to the basketball court force just to wait on me because he was trying to push me off of my game. He even created a name for me based on my game. He used to call me Flash Bucket. Look him, oh, Flash Bucket reach. He going to get all his style from the court now. You understand? A pain in the ass. But I will tell you this. If you give him an assignment, he is going to do that assignment with his utmost best. He's going to put his best foot forward. So when Winfield was given the assignment to manage the shelter, the principal of the Calicut Anglican School was harassing him because when the aides started coming in, all she saw was self-benefit. All she saw was how she can benefit herself from these things that were coming in. She harassed the young man so much that he said, you know what? If you want the job, take it. He resigned. He went to the press. He told the press why he resigned. And what I'm saying here was his story why he resigned. Would you believe it, that a matter of 4 hours after Winfield Tanis Abbott leave his post as shelter manager, the same principal, Carcel Smith, was seen full in her car with the products, the foodstuff that was sent into the shelter to take care of those people who are housed and being sheltered there, those people who were displaced. Carcel Uriah Smith. Carcel Uriah Smith. Unica Smith. Carcel Unica Smith. That's her name. Carcel Unica Smith. 57 years old. PhD holder. She's a doctor. Right? She forget. She have forgotten. Let me go into my... She have forgotten that this is the age of technology. This is the age where accountability is being held by people in position on social media. A young lady who was perturbed by the whole situation that she saw came on social media and did a live video and speak from the bottom of her heart. She was disturbed. She was upset because she could not understand why this lady was giving Winfield so much trouble. Right? She could not understand why they were having such a good and peaceful a sojourn at the Anglican school, only to be upset under Winfield management, only to be upset by the principal, Miss Smith, Dr. Smith, Thief and Doctor, Dr. Thief, right? And now she have taken away all of the stuff from the shelter. The people in the shelter can't get water. They can't get water. They can't get food. Their children in the shelter, there's no preparation is made to take care of the children when the kitchen is closed. Come on, people. This can't be right. How can a lady who hold a PhD stoop so low as to be stealing from people who are desperate, people who are in distress, people who are in this place? How could she be so cruel and dog-hearted to be stealing from a shelter? She is a principal. She is receiving. Diana Springer, nice to have you from England. She is receiving a salary that is equivalent to a manager's salary for being a principal. She is being paid more than most teachers. Yet she is stealing simple things. And I wonder if anyone have made a report of this theft to the police, because the police need to be informed. And you know what I heard? I will do my investigation because I say I'm going to address this. She is one of Ralph Gonsalves' cloning. That is why she was making way. She can afford to buy his own food, Desiree, her own food, Desiree, Francois. She can afford. So why is she stealing from the poor? Why is she stealing from the people who are displaced? When she go home, she can cook up anything that she wants. When she is at the shelter, she can still eat food from the shelter. You understand? Because if she's at the shelter and they're sharing food, and it's time that we start to manage our shelter in a professional way, where the principal should never be the manager of the shelter. She should be the building manager to manage the activities in the building, where it comes to managing housing, allocation of food, preparation of food. The shelter manager is supposed to be the person who's responsible for that. Every shelter, because all of these positions are volunteer positions, every shelter should have a small 4-man committee. And from that 4-man committee, which would include the government-appointed shelter manager, the principal of the school, which is the building manager, and 2 members from the people that are being housed in the shelter to manage the affairs and come up with the way things should be run in the shelter. Because this is the only way you can get accountability. Yeah, Monica. Miss Brooker, she a very sad person. You can imagine a doctor. She's a doctor thief. Sad, sad, sad situation. As I was saying, we have to stop managing the shelters like Ralph Gonsalves managed the government. We have to bring accountability. We have to have our stores. We have to have storekeeper, right? You have to have people, kitchen staff, and when kitchen staff need food, they must put in an order to the storekeeper, and the storekeeper will fill the order, right? When things come into the shelters, they need to have an inventory as to what came in, right? And the storekeeper need to keep an inventory as what was disbursed. So you have a ledger kind system where you know what you have based on records and based on inspection. We cannot allow... Hey, listen to me. As I tell you before, 1979. 1979 was now for now. Boom! Evacuation, shelter. There was no time to put all of these things in place. We had 4 months to prepare for this volcano. 4 months to prepare for this volcano, right? And yet, nothing was in place. Nothing was in place. Rose, did you share this video? Huh? I see it there now. I can see it now. I can see it. I can make a picture from here. No, nothing was in place. And this is what I sent a message to Mr. Winfield Abotanis on Facebook. And I tell Winfield that he needs to go back and take up his position as a shelter manager. Because we see that Carcel Smith, Dr. Carcel Smith, Dr. Thief, are only interesting in furthering her owners. Remember last week, Thursday or Friday, I did a video. And I said that there will be volunteers. Well, the principal is not a volunteer. She's a paid employee of the state. And since her school is not in session, she is being paid to do what she's doing. So therefore, the government had been paying Dr. Carcel Smith to steal the ration from the evacuation center. They have been paying her prime salary to steal the ration from the evacuation center. One of Ralph Gonsalves' crony. It's all about politics in this place, you know. You understand? Why did she feel it? And you know what? From all reports, Dr. Thief, aka Carcel Smith, is a bully. She's a virago. She's a woman who likes to have her own way, and she will have her own way by putting down other people. Yes, mayors, Dala mayors, integrity and accountability is lacking in our country in general. And those people who are willing to be accountable and responsible and work with integrity and class, they are not given the opportunity. Oh, Rose, oh, now you're ready for come on, because if I didn't see you in the pictures and identify you, you would have sneak in and sneak out. Share the video, Rose. Nice. Rose, my sweetheart. You know I love you, my dear. My roller skate buddy, Rose Charles. Yes, she would have... Listen. Now do you see the government is paying Dr. Castle Charles to steal from the poor, to steal from the displaced. Prime salary. I want to know what the teachers union have to say about this, because she is a product of the teachers union. When the last batch of principal were appointed by the government, the teachers union objected to some. They didn't object to Castle Charles. Castle Smith, sorry. They did not object. Castle Charles is one of my schoolmates from intermediate high school. Not she. She's a lady of integrity and dignity. The union, the teachers union, did not object to the appointment of Castle Smith. But here we see, she is bringing down the credibility of teachers, the credibility of the union by her action. You understand? If that little girl, she couldn't be no more than 18 years old, who did that video? If that little girl did not have the guts and the fortitude to speak up, Castle, Dr. Teef would have been home right now, eating corned beef, stew corned beef with tomatoes and onions. Corned beef that should have been allocated, that should have been prepared for the evacuants. I thought that I am of the opinion that little girl heard my video last week when I says, when you see anyone who does not have the interests of the evacuants or the interests of those displaced person, whether they're in the shelter or not, at heart, out them, report it. Who was she going to report the manager to? Social media, of course. Dr. Teef's real manager. Social media. Good morning, cousin Sylvia Jack, my sweetheart. How are you doing? My cousin, my flesh and blood. You are. You know I love you, Sylvia. Family to the end. Right? And Sylvia Jack, let me talk to you now. You're a teacher. You are a teacher. What are you and your union have to say about the behavior of Dr. Teef, aka Castle Charles, the principal of the Caliqua Anglican School? What are they have to say? As a teacher, Sylvia, you are my cousin. I know you will never do something like that if you're put in the position. I know you would never want me personally to hear that you are doing such foolishness. You know how we as a family roll. So let me hear, what is your opinion? What is your opinion? Where does the teachers union stand on the behavior of Dr. Teef, aka Castle Charles, or Castle Charles, aka Dr. Teef, who is thieving from the poor? Where does the union stand on this issue? It is far too early for the union to speak because it's weekend. But we have social media. They can do a Zoom live, have a discussion, and make a release. As to the doctor's behavior. A principal. You have to remember, teachers, you are not only representing yourself. You are representing your family. You are representing the community from which you're from. You are representing the paternity of teaching. And you are representing the union. My cousin Sylvia Jack is saying she has been using her personal funds to help evacuees all week. That is the kind of person you are. That is the kind of person your mother have brought you up to be. That is the kind of person your father was. Helpful with whatever resources they have. You understand? So I am not surprised that that is what you're doing. No. Sorry. Did I say Charles? No, Rose. Oh, sorry. It's not Castle. It's Castle Smith. Dr. Smith. Not Charles. Thanks for putting that there. Thanks for disowning Charles. It is not, sorry. It is not Castle Charles. It is Castle Smith. You see, my old schoolmate name is stick in my head. Because this is the second person who named Castle. Dr. Smith. So tell me, people. Tell me. How are we going to deal with this one? Dr. Smith needs to be arrested because she is accused of theft. Dr. Smith, aka Dr. Thief, needs to be arrested because it is a serious allegation that is made against her by these members of the shelter. An allegation that can be corroborated by other members of the shelter who saw her. An allegation that can be corroborated by Winfield Tannis Abbott, who would have done an inventory of the stores that he got in. Right? So, Dr. Thief and people, we must shame this woman. Let this woman be an example for every other shelter manager. Let every shelter manager be afraid to even take up a macaroni even to see the thickness of the macaroni. Let us shame her. And Monica Spikeman Brooke is agreeing with me. Let us shame her. She will be known as Dr. Thief from today. She better ask for early retirement and leave, because I don't know how she's going to face those children that she's going to be supervising after this whole thing is done and she gone back in her position of principal. A lot of children are going to be suspended under her administration. Under her leadership, a lot of children are going to be suspended because I know Vincy Pickney not easy. Them go, Dr. Thief. Who said that? The whole class is suspended. All right, Dr. Thief. My God. This lady is a bully, eh? Naturally, she's a bully. She's a bully. Her peers will tell you, the teachers who works under you will tell you that she's a virago. She's an outlarded woman. Right? She's a virago. So that is why she was bullying Winfield. Mr. Winfield, to get Mr. Winfield out of the way so she can steal. Right? So we need to have at least a 4-man management committee for every shelter. And people, if you're listening here, tell it to Nemo. Tell it to Nemo. And from that 4-man, the principal of every school or the head of the building that you are hosting a shelter in must be on that committee as building manager. They must manage the affairs of the building. If anything is to be done to the building, it must be brought to their attention. They must sit on the dialogue as to how things should go and so forth. The government appointed shelter manager, I think it's a voluntary position, there should be, and two members of the evacuants who are being housed in the shelter should, because in order to get things, it is, remember, all of these are, except for the building managers who are being paid by the government, the other positions are voluntary positions. Those building managers are now stepping in, right? Because the government, the assignment for which they were paid and are still being paid is not in progress right now. The schools and so forth, right? So they are being paid to be building manager in with their salaries. So they are taking up the post as building manager to manage the building, to ensure that anything that happens to the building is reported to them. They can document it. They can make arrangements to have it replaced, repair, or whatever is needed. If the shelter manager need to organize an activity, you need to bring it to the building manager's attention so that she can lay down guidelines to ensure that whatever is being done maintain the integrity of the structure so it can be used after the volcano stop belching and things go back to normal. Right? We need to have storekeeper in these shelters. One for food, which is an essential commodity in shelter, and water, and one for other things like clothing that will come in, and other non-perishable like clothing and food and clothing and shoes and things that will come in that will be needed in the shelter that are not food. We have 2 stores, right? For example, the kitchen must put in an order because you need to keep an inventory. At the end of the day, you should be able to say, we had 20 cases of beef came in, and this 20 cases of beef was used over a period of time, right? Such and such was used for for the breakfast team, such was used for the lunch team, such was used for the dinner team. You need to have accountability for the things that are being brought into the shelter, and we need to know how they are being used. This is to stamp out theft, as Dr. Thief, Miss Carshall Smith, has been involved in. You understand? It is time that we start running the shelter like any other facility that is being run, where accountability is the primary goal, where people are taken care of, and we ensure that the resources are put to where they were designated. Thank you, Monica Spikeman Broker. We have to make sure that the resources are put to where they were designated. So, if a case of corned beef was designated to Dr. Thief or to Carshall Smith, then she would have put it in her car and take it home, and that would have been accounted for. You understand? But we need to run the shelters in a business-like manner, where accountability is the watchword, and where service is the objective. People, if you agree with me, let me know. Monica Spikeman Broker says she agree. One of my soldiers. You understand? Yes, so basically, that's all I have to say. Anybody have anything they want to contribute? Anybody want to come live with me? Marvin Bob, nice to have you, man. Nice to have you. Share the video, Marvin. We speak a lot of things here. Marvin, did you know that the United States government has allocated $100 million for volcano relief? Kamalo is going to come and give an inflated budget and say he spent the monies where the monies were not spent. Now, how are we going to keep Ralph Gonsalves and his bunch of henchmen accountable in the spending of this money? How are we going to keep them accountable? Huh? We don't do any budget. Oh, Marvin, you heard about it. Nice. So you see, that means my information is correct. We don't have any audits in quite a while. So we don't know who's stealing, how much was stolen, what money was misplaced, what money was displaced, what money that was allocated for one thing went to another. We don't know how these money have been spent because we have not have an audit. So how are we going to ensure that the monies that are spent, are spent on the things that are instrumental in restoring St. Vincent and Vincentian to its former position? Let me tell you something, right? $100 million US, that means everybody could become, every Vincentian and St. Vincent and the Grenadines can become an EC millionaire. Every Vincentian can become an EC millionaire, and there is still enough money to clean up, right? So I expect, and with the other aid that will be coming in, I expect Vincentians as we are today will be much better off, will be far much better off, right, than they were before the volcanic eruption. You understand? Far better off. Unless the money is going to things that it is not allocated for, like Ralph Gonsalves' Swiss bank account, like activities in Trinidad, in California. You're probably going to come and buy the law library, a set of new computers in California, because the computers that the state-of-the-art computers, you see, God don't sleep enough. God don't sleep. The state-of-the-art computers that Ralph Gonsalves donate to the law library in California, just before the law library is closed for the pandemic, they start going bad. All of them start going bad. The system start breaking down. The computers stop working and all kind of thing. Millions of St. Vincent dollars he spent on a computer system and give it to the law library. Start going bad. You understand? Ah, yeah, he's smiling, Rose. He's smiling all the way to the bank. not the bank in St. Vincent, not the St. Vincent Grenadines bank, you know. He's smiling all the way to the Swiss bank account. My God. People, let us try our best to keep them. People, if you're in the diaspora, if you're outside the St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right? Speak up. Call into the radio station when they have call-in programs. Let them know that you are there, you are watching, and you are hoping for better for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That is the only thing. They don't want to hear me talk. They don't tell all the radio station, even Dougie, don't want to hear me talk because Ralph don't tell them don't entertain me. So when Miss Tanya Christopher is calling me and telling me, Palmer, they have this program, call it now. Doesn't make no sense. When they see my number, they're not going to answer the phone. You understand how I don't bother with it? Even if it's nice radio, Dougie not going to answer the phone. And when he hear me, when he hear my voice, he's going to find some way to either cut me off or to limit my what I could say to the people who are being interviewed. So Tony or Christopher, when you send these information and message to me and ask them to do this and to hold them accountable, doesn't make sense. They won't answer the phone, and when they hear my voice, they're going to find a way to cut me off before I get on, or they're going to put me on hold and never bring me on. It's simple. First time I see Louis Dishang on One of My Life, I don't know if Louis... Oh, Mr. Dishang, you are an educator too. Let me bring this to you. Mr. Dishang, you are an educator. You're not only an educator, you are a manager of the education system, because you have been, I think, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Education previously to your new position. How is the Ministry of Education, Louis Dishang, ghetto man, how is the Ministry of Education, right, going to deal with this allegation where one of their senior employees was accused of stealing ration from the evacuation center? I know you're not going to answer because I'm putting you on the spot. I just see it pop up, so I just put you on the spot. I know you can't answer because it is not in your place to come and discuss this in such a forum, right? This is something that the ministry have to get together with and talk about and make decisions. So I'm just pulling your legs, Louis. Don't worry about me. My people, this is Alan Palmer saying, thank the Most High for his knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. And I thank the Most High for his opportunity to speak to my people again. People, share this video, share it on your page, share it on a friend page, share it in a group, share it in a room, and tag someone in it when you share it, so we all can know what is happening in our country in this time of disaster and need. I'm out!